This game came with a large sheet of paper with a blank Gatchaman head printed on one side and a Gatchaman-themed adventure game printed on the other. Both sides were printed in full color. The features for the Gatchaman face, eyes, mouth, etc., were printed on a separate card and could be cut out to apply to the head. A spinner was included to direct the gameplay for the adventure game. This was one of the earliest pieces of Gatchaman merchandise. A very large, oversized game with the full-color playing surface stayed in the lower tray of the box. Mounted in the center of the game was a spinner to direct the gameplay. This is another of the earliest pieces of Gatchaman merchandise. These 3 flashcard-style games were made to help teach children hiragana, one of the 3 Japanese writing systems. Each set consisted of 96 cards, roughly half of which contained a full-color image and a hiragana symbol. Matching cards contained a sentence beginning with the same symbol. All of the card images and sentence examples were Gatchaman related. Shown here is the packaging for all 3 sets and a sample of the symbol cards. The very first Gatchaman video game was a combination of action and role-playing. Unfortunately, after its initial release on the PC-98 operating system on both 5-inch and 3.5-inch floppy disks, it was never ported to any other platform. The game featured original music and sound effects, in addition to including a MIDI version of the original Gatchaman theme song. It came with an instruction manual and a large fold-out poster of the game's cover image. An example of a later Gatchaman puzzle with a customized publicity image as its main picture. This puzzle was 500 pieces. This puzzle featured a special holographic shimmering background with a new Gatchaman image illustrated by series producer Ippei Kuri. This puzzle was 500 pieces, and it measured approximately 14 inches by 20 inches when completed. As a bonus, this puzzle came with a special number 000 Gatchaman trading card to go along with Epic's Tatsunoko World 96 trading card set. Another example of Gatchaman puzzle, again illustrated by series producer Ippei Kuri. This puzzle was 1,000 pieces, and it measured approximately 18 inches by 30 inches when completed. As a bonus, the first 2,000 copies of this puzzle came with a limited edition, numbered trading card with the puzzle's image and gold foil imprint of Ippei Kuri's autograph. This was a CD-ROM that came filled with images from the original Gatchaman series. Its main purpose was to allow the use of Gatchaman images on envelopes, stickers, homemade calendars, computer diskettes, etc. In addition to the images, there were a number of scans of animation cells, rare sketches, and a video with the Gatchaman TV series opening animation and theme song. First editions of this CD-ROM came with a small, brown, plastic, leather-like wallet embossed with a Gatchaman logo. This PlayStation Japan fighting video game featured many of Tatsunoko's classic heroes, plus supporting heroine characters and villains, including Gatchaman, Kashan, Polymer, and Tekkaman, and introduced a new hero designed for the package named Volter. The game was produced in 2D mode to help keep the feel of the original animated TV shows. Bonus awards for completing levels included access to sound effect and background music areas, photo galleries for each series, and more. Some of the original voice actors from Gatchaman, like Katsuji Mori, Ken, and Kazuko Sugiyama, Jun, reprised their famous roles for new sound clips in the game. A Gatchaman pachinko game machine made its debut in Japanese pachinko parlors in mid-2002. It was the first Gatchaman arcade-style game of any kind. It featured an electric ball-firing mechanism, 2 different custom Gatchaman playing surfaces, and 2 case colors, red or black, and a multitude of flashing lights and targets. In addition to all this, the center of the game surface had an LCD screen that played brand new animation, music, and voices for each of the levels and challenges that the player encountered. Each of these levels was themed around Gatchaman team members and villains. All told, it was an exciting and interesting game. Unfortunately, it was not made for sale to the public. It could only be played in Japanese gaming parlors. Part of a bargain-priced line of video games for PlayStation Japan, Gatchaman, the shooting, lived up to its name. This simple game consisted of only 2 levels each for Ken, Joe, Jun, and Junpei. Ryu did not get his own complete level, but the final stage of the game did involve piloting his God Phoenix. The game was a top-bottom scrolling shooter and did not contain many surprises. There were no music, sound effects, or vocal clips from Gatchaman included in the game. The enemies were based on various robots and bad guys that were seen in the show, such as the Turtle King. This skill-based game was issued in France and later in Italy with similar packaging. France, Spain, and the US each issued their own Battle of the Planets board games. This particular game tested a player's skill at spinning a game piece into one of several holes in the game board. A special box of plastic cubes, each of which had 1/24 of a Battle of the Planets picture printed on each of its sides. The cubes formed 6 different puzzles in all. This handheld movie viewer allowed children to watch several different G-Force adventures by swapping out individual film cassettes. The viewer came with 1 cassette. Others could be purchased separately. Shown here are the viewer and several examples of the film cassettes. Puzzles are one of the more popular Battle of the Planets toys. Shown here are 2 larger format puzzles for the French market that featured original artwork and 2 smaller miniature puzzles. A collection of 8 original rubber stamps that came complete with water-soluble ink, colored pencils, and a pad of blank paper. 1 stamp was included for each G-Force member, along with 7 Zark 7, 1 Rover 1, and the Phoenix. A standard set of 3 Viewmaster reels that were only released in certain parts of Europe. They featured original artwork and a loose storyline. This inexpensive but oversized Greek board game came with a large fold-out playing surface on thin cardboard and a selection of generic plastic jets to indicate the players. Gameplay was controlled via a spinner. This Spanish board game was based on the standard Battleship game. It came with 2 foldable playing surfaces and a selection of plastic pegs to indicate hits and misses. These 2 simple games from Spain featured original artwork on a smaller circular playing surface, 1 die, and a number of multicolored place markers. There was a paper sheet with the game's rules on the back of the packaging. These cards were set up to play a number of different children's games. There were 32 cards in all, divided into 4 differently colored suits, each containing a photo from a Battle of the Planets episode, along with a brief description of the action being depicted. The first of several Battle of the Planets rub-down transfer sets that were issued in the UK. Each came with a set of decals that could be transferred, one time only, onto a pre-printed background, much like Presto Magic sets in the United States. This product was a simple children's toy that allowed children to communicate over distances via the string and tin cans method. A toy that fired plastic discs, the Space Raiders gun came in either red or blue, and the discs could be fired either to hit targets or as shoot and catch items if another friend also had one of the guns. This item is interesting for a number of reasons. First, because it was the only video game based on Battle of the Planets, and also because it was one of the last licensed products from the show's original line of merchandise. The game was produced for the popular Spectrum computer system. This puzzle was meant for very young children. Each of the pieces fit snugly into a heavy cardboard frame. This American board game seemed to be adapted from a previously existing set of rules, with a custom set of playing pieces and a game board. It came complete with a 7 Zark 7 spinner, a set of Phoenix game pieces, and Spectra enemy monster robot cards.